Right, it's Tuesday the 15th of March. Just finished a real hard day at work, started early, couldn't get no sleep last night because I'm off to France. Fishing down in France at a lake called Lac de Lepinet. Booked through angling lines. Nice lake. Done a bit of research on it. Done loads of trips with angling lines, and always comes up good, really good. Fished for all the seasons, through the summer, through the winter. This is my first real, and it's just turned spring, as we know. Temperature's gonna be good, 20 degrees when I get there. Then it'll die down and even out around about 15 degrees, 14 degrees throughout the week. Nice weather. There for 10 days. Really looking forward to it. Really got the buzz now. So I'm just now going to get a few little last bits, empty all the tools in the van into my lockup, and fill the whole of the transit van up with my kit, because I go big. And when I say big, the New Ridge Monkey bivvy with the outhouse, gazebo, cook tent, the works. Really comfortable. Got the whole lake, 34 acres to myself, and yeah, really gonna do my stuff. Got a little underwater camera for this trip, so I'm gonna go out in a rowing boat, check what's out there, do all my depths with me echo sounder, find some nice spots, bait up some different areas and fish them. Just stop between the places I'm going to be fishing throughout the week, not to over pressure them. Like I say, I've got a whole lake to myself, so little tip from the owner, follow the wind, which we would normally do anyway. 4 Dutch guys on there last week, and apparently they had about 45 fish between them, up to about 24 kilo. So they're definitely on the feed after the winter. So yeah, go back to my unit now, load up the van. Can't wait. Ferry crossing tonight, 11:30. Get to France, Calais, 1:30 in the morning. Nice steady drive down there with a few coffee stops, probably an hour's kip on the way, so I just want to get to France. Should arrive at anywhere about 6:30, 7 in the morning. The owner said I can get on the lake soon, pretty much as soon as I can get there, so I'll probably find the local shops, do a few little top-ups on my food and that, get a baguette like you normally do, and then get to the lake. Absolutely buzzing. Alright, I'll catch you later. Right, so I'm all checked in, just waiting. I've probably got a 45-minute wait now to get onto the ferry. So I just want to say the reason I'm doing this video is because since I've been travelling to France fishing, when you book your holiday and you get that buzz and excitement of the months leading up to it and then the weeks, I tend to like watch a few videos myself to get into the mood, and I try and find ones which are, you know, not short, but go in depth of what's involved, what the procedures are. So if there's anyone out there who have never been and are thinking of going to France for the first time, it's just like an in-depth video I'm going to put together. Never done it before, so we'll see how it turns out, but I just want to like spread the information of what's involved. So basically, you think of going to France, you know, you scour the internet, look at some lakes. People tend to sort of like go for the well-known lakes like Gigantica, Crete lakes, etc. And I've done it both. I've gone independent. I've booked a lake up done my own crossing, etc. on my own with other people. I do go on my own a lot. This trip's on my own. Done 3 last year. Last one was first week of December. I just like my own company, so I go a lot on my own. So I travel with a company called Angling Lines. Now I do that for the simple reason I find it cheaper. You get a nice week on a lake, which normally run from Saturday to Saturday, and it works out cheaper with a crossing. They look after you, there's good customer service. You ring them any time, they give you any advice, they keep you informed. 1 week before your holiday they email you, and you pretty much choose your lake, choose your swim maybe, sometimes it's a peg draw, and you pay a deposit as little as 25%, then you pay 25%, a couple of months later, and then the balance, I think it's 10 weeks before you go, or you can pay it all in one, which I normally do. And if you want to change your crossing times, not a problem, you just let them know, they change the crossing. I tend to come about this time, 11:30, because I'm going to a lake down in Le Mans, as I said earlier, and it's about a comfortable 5.5 hours drive, so by the time I get into France it's going to be 2 o'clock in the morning, so I should get to the lake about 7, and because I'm the only one on the lake, then I've already spoken to him, and he said I can fish virtually straight away, because you're looking at getting to the lake about 11 AM, that's the turnaround, and then you're normally off of the lake in the morning by about 10 o'clock, and that works for most lakes, I should think. And it's so easy. I mean, I know I don't look excited, but inside I'm dancing, absolutely dancing. I can't wait to get off of that other side on that ferry, do a couple of hours. Sometimes I'll have an hour in the lay-by, but I just, when I get there, can't wait to leave home. No disrespect to my family, but I just love fishing in France. It's a dream, and if you've never been, your experience for the first time will be unbelievable, and it carries on, it don't go away. Every time you go, you get that same buzz, you get that same feeling. And we go to France because the fish are so huge. Average weight in France, I would say, on most lakes, high 30s. Loads of 40s, 50s. Some lakes, 5 to 10 60s and 70s in abundance. And when you're fishing local, like I'm from Kent, so I do a lot of Kent day ticket lakes. Biggest I've had over my fishing career is £31, because I've never been in a syndicate on a big lake. I normally go for 3 or 4 days at a time, but once you've been to France, I think I speak for most people, you just can't wait to get back. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it's been a bit of an headache through the COVID situation, with PCR tests and passenger log forms and vaccination certificates. That seems to die down now, because I've just come across now, straight through, COVID passport on your NHS app, straight in, no passenger locator form, no declaration form, just passport control. And the reason I go for this time, I suppose many do, I'll chance bringing my boilies, which you're not supposed to, but I do. I don't bring, I'll still always buy bait from the lake, because they make their living, and it's hard work, so I like to put a bit of money to the lake and buy some, I'll cook my own particles, I'll bring all them as well. So I suppose I'm going to start filming when I get to the lake, get a feel, show you what it's like, pull it up and what you expect. And I set up big, so I'm hoping to get there about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I probably won't be set up till 2, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Probably get my rods out for the evening, bait up some areas, which I'm going to bait a few areas so I can fish on them in a couple of days time, because I've got a whole lake to myself. And yeah, so another quick thing is, I always do, because you're advised to, UK badge, headlight restrictors on the beam, high vis vest, triangle, breathalyzer test is pretty much when you're travelling abroad. Don't cost a lot. I think all in all it's like 20-25 quid for the lot. And another little thing, always take breakdown cover out. Now if you're going for a week, just do the day you're travelling there and the day you're coming back, and you pay as little as £7 a day. Don't do like I done on the first few trips, Saturday to Saturday, ended up paying 7 sevens, or you get the week for 40 quid, but you might as well just do the day travelling back, because in the week you only probably pop into the shop, you know, to get some supplies, some beers, and top up on your food and that. So I'm actually going for 10 days this time, hence why it's Tuesday night now, get to late Wednesday morning. For the simple reason is, once you're there for a week, you just don't want to come home. So the last few trips I've actually managed to speak to the holiday company, because you know, it's the start of the season, weren't no one on the lake, so I've managed to get half a week and then a full week. Nice discounted price. Bob's your uncle. So yeah, I'm gonna have my coffee, have a fag, because I do smoke, and spend a week on the lake with no one going smoke this, smoke that. So please myself, lovely. So yeah, I'll do some filming when I get there, and then once I'm set up, and hopefully my video this week, or sorry, for the 10 days, will help and answer all the questions that somebody needs when they're thinking of going to France for the first time.
Cédric ou Romano, à vous de décider les résultats du. Allez, votez Cédric, la famille. Allez, votez Romano. C'est mon anniversaire hier. L'horoscope d'un c'est fini, allez hop, terminé. Allez, après ranger les dames. Post cadeau. 6h, 9h, seulement sur Skyrock. Le morning de Diffoul.
Well, I've arrived at the lake. Lepinet South. I was due to go in swim zero, which is down in this corner, because I didn't know at time of booking it was going to be the only one here. So I've decided to go in swim one, because I've seen them crashing out here already, walking around the lake, all this area, that just in front of them boys. So I've got a rowing boat, I've got my bait boat, so I can easily target that. I will bait up this corner, and I will. It's a bit tricky around these snags around here, but to be fair, I've got the whole lake. So as you can see, the van's full. Just going to get started, and then once I'm all comfortable, I'll do a little bit more once all the setup's complete. I've chose swim one instead of naught, because I can hit that from here. I am absolutely knackered. Had no sleep. seating area. Toilet block there. Boat. Starting off with this £44 lepinet mirror. Come on. Not ready yet. It's a beast. Right, we're all settled in and got here yesterday on the Wednesday, baited up a few areas, and 2 o'clock in the morning I was into the first mirror carp, £44. Lovely fish. I'll put the pictures on later. So I've just redone all the rods for today, found the spots. It's really about getting comfortable today and not really worrying too much because I've got another 8 days, so I'll run through all the bait and the rig setup later. But I'll just show you the final setup of what I do. So that's what I call base camp. That's how I like to be comfortable for a 10-day or a week session. Right, into the second carp of the session. Nice £40 mirror. Let's have a look at this one. Just look at those views. The sun's just setting. This is France. Let's take a video of this lovely mirror. Fish number 9 from Lepinet South. Look at that from mirror carp. Coming in at £27, but more than the weight. What a beautiful fish. Down the barrel. these are the sort of fish you wait for. This is a big fish. It's my second biggest fish ever. And it's a 50-pound lepinet mirror. And it's heavy. Waited all day for this, and it's worth the wait. Look at that. Look at that. That's a big fish. Right, we're actually on the Monday. It's about 12:30. Probably the best day's weather, not fishing, but best day's weather we've had since I've been here, since Wednesday. So it's really hard because you're just flat out all the time. So getting time to sit down and do a bit of videoing, apart from the fish you're catching, it's pretty time consuming. So just going to take 10-15 minutes to have a little chat and show you the setup. And one thing I will say is the videoing is like here, there and everywhere. So I'm going to try and put it all together. It might not be in order, but like I said, if you're out for France for the first time, at least this video will help you in really what to expect. And I'll run through some bait and some rigs. So anyway, like I said, we're on lepinet. Actually day 6, I'm halfway through the holiday, 10 days holiday. So this is day 6. You do 100% lose count of days and time. So, right, we'll start with the setup. Right, you're allowed to park your van close. I'll bring the solar panel for the batteries because on sunny days like this, that is really vital. Otherwise, you've got to keep going over to the block. But I have got an inverter in the van, and I always have a leisure battery, so I can charge everything up. Sweet. Little spodding set up because over in that corner, I've been doing a little bit of spodding, find a little area, just basically just messing about there. See if anything's coming down into that corner, because as you can see, the lake is quite large. It's advertised at 34 acres, but to be honest, it's about 18 acres here. So there's the boat. Actually, getting a little knock there. There's the boat with the GPS. I've got the old echo sounder, get the decks and everything. There's the cook tent, be cooking a nice stew later, just been up the shop. And headquarters with the, I don't know if you'll see it in the dark, but bedroom in there. That's the new Ridge Monkey. Nice bivvy. Back bivvy goes up 10 minutes. All the front and everything, a couple of hours. Don't listen to what they say, you've got to be prepared. Right, bait wise, I do cook my own while I'm here, but I also do buy some particles. It's empty. I bring some small pellet. I do a nice mixed hemp, corn, a few mixed, whatever you want to call it, bit of pigeon conditioner. And I do add a lot of salt and chilli in that. And then boilie wise, there's a mixture there of CC Moore live system, CC Moore tuna Pacific, and a few pink strawberry and krill, which I've bought on the lake, and I've mixed them all together. And I've glugged them up with a cloudy krill and manila. I've also got Live System and Tuna Pacific there. Just mix them all in. So when that all goes into the boat, it's all going to spread out anyway. So anyway, and then the rigs I'm using. Now I have diversed. I've done some basic hair rigs with some hard hook baits, because there is a few bream in here and I've had 3 bream. And I'll show you my catch report, which shows all the times. So you can photograph that, and to be fair, every time I've gone, it's pretty much the same on time wise when you're going to be catching fish, because daytime you don't really get a lot. Saying that, yesterday, about the same conditions as this, I pulled in a 40-pound mirror. Had 3 40s so far, handful of 30s, a few 20s, and like I said, I've had 3 bream. But I'm not really fishing to discourage the bream, because you won't. They'll take whatever bait is out there. It's only when you've got like crayfish and poison chat that you've got to keep them off it. Not too many particles and a nice large bait. So I'm not overly worried. I'll get a few bream, because you know, you're only going to sort of like get 3 or 4 over a 10-day period. In a week you might be lucky to get 2, but they are big. If you're a bream fisherman, you know, a lot of little match fishermen, they're kicking on 8 to 10 pound. I don't know what the British record is. I watched a video a little while ago, but they are big. But they don't give up no fight, and they just come in. You know when you got one anyway, because it'll beep and then it'll go silent and then have a little beep. You won't really get a run. You might get a little surge and then another few beeps, and you got to bring it in, because you know you've got a bream on board. So wafters I've been using, like I said, I've been diversing with the rigs. I've been doing, I've got one on a Ronnie rig, call it a 360 rig, whatever you want. I've been using size 4-ounce gripper lead, and I've got 3 on an IQD wafter. So the best way to see this is if I put it on my bucket. I've got one spare one I've made up. So that's the sort of rig setup. Now that's a 20-pound IQD rig with D pattern bait screw and an 18mm wafter. And in that I'll have a little bit of putty and an anti-tangle sleeve. Now that has been doing the job. I've caught on the Ronnie rig, but the IQD rig is for me, with a size 2 to 4 curved shank hook. Sharpen them every time they go out. I don't necessarily renew the hook, but I do sharpen them. And this, just got to take that off. This is my catch report so far, which is now midway through the session. Yeah, another thing I want to put in the video, and like I say, just keep thinking of things, bits of information, what you feel you should know before you come. Temperatures. Right, a lot of people will come in the summer months, which I would say end of May up till beginning of October. I've been plenty of sessions over them months, and it is hot. Like this is nice, but in them summer months it is hot. So be prepared for that. This is the first session I've done in March, which for me is the end of the winter period. Came on the 16th, which is beginning of spring. More importantly, daylight hours. For me, daylight hours is more important than temperature. Once them fish know you've got 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of darkness, they're on it. Trust me, that's nature. When I was at home before I come, I was driving along and I was saying to my workers, daffodils on the side of the road. Once I saw that daffodil, I knew the fish are alive. They're alive after their winter break. You'll catch it in the winter, of course you will. But nothing like the spring. So weight-wise, for me, they're not going to beat their heaviest. Their heaviest is probably the end of November, before they start their winter break, because they're feeding up like mad and you will get them at their heaviest weight. But now, after the winter, they're going to feed heavy before they spawn, and that is all down to water temperature. I think it's 18 degrees. They'll start spawning at 18 degrees, and that varies on the region you're going. So that will vary from mid-May to the beginning of June. So I always try to avoid them times, because you don't want to be catching when they're spawning. So I've been to a really hot place, 1st of June, just finished spawning, and that is a good week to go. So temperatures now, so you're looking literally first week of spring, because there ain't nothing on the trees around here, so they're just ready. Temperatures vary from 5 degrees to 18 degrees depending. Today I've just looked on the thermometer in the van. Today's 15 degrees and it is lovely. T-shirt on. Some nights here it's been absolutely cold at night, so a hot water bottle, which is essential. I've got a candle heater which I made myself, and yeah, it's okay. So getting back, obviously, temperatures in the summer, you are going to hit 30 degrees plus, but you catch, you're in France, you will catch big fish in the hot extreme temperatures, and you'll also catch them in the cold. So there's no real pattern. Catch less in the winter, more in the summer. Spring, first time I've done it, I've still caught another. Yeah, I've got a knock there. I like to get one on camera, but whether it happens, it happens. The missus said, try and get one on video, but what do you do? Set your phone up for 18 hours? Because sometimes that's the period in between catches, 18 hours. And that's another thing, if you've got a good woman who lets you go fishing. I've done, this is now 1, 2, 3, this is my 4th trip since June. So 8 months, 4 trips every 2 months, which is unbelievable. If I was on my own, I'd be out here all the time. But I average 2 a year, you know, and normally summer months. Last year I've done November and beginning of December. I had a 55 pound. I had the biggest fish in my life, but that's the only one I had. Summer, I've done as much as 30, I think it was 39 fish, but the highest out of that was only 44 pound. So you've got to weigh it up. What would you rather do? One fish over a week, biggest you've ever had, or loads of fish over a week and make it a good fishing session? For me, I'd sit here for a week with one big fish. I really, really would. One big fish. So, anyway, I thought I'll bring that along, covering weather conditions and everything. And one other important factor, and a lot of people will say a southwesterly wind will bring the fish, blah blah blah. But wind is a factor. Anyone who goes fishing who will really tell you, follow the wind. It means changing a bit, you know. If it ain't a strong wind, I'll stay as I am. But if the wind is pushing in a certain direction, yeah, I'll fish that corner. The wind is pushing. But another thing, obviously, I've got the lake to myself, so I'm just going to show you the difference between if you're on your own and you're fishing, say, height of the season on this lake. There'll be 6 anglers this side, and across the water there'll be 6 anglers that side, so there'll be 12 anglers in the height of the season. So you are limited to what you can fish. So if I stick that out there, that's peg 1. I'm here. No, sorry, that's peg 0. I'm here, peg 1. So I can only really fish to that orange buoy, to the second white. That is it, that's my area. And then obviously swim 2 will have the next section. And then over the far side of the lake, they'll have the same coming to the buoys. So I'm fortunate enough to be able to do what I want. But here is so snaggy, I'm avoiding that. I've lost, I think, 2 fish and 3 lines to this area. And by the way, I bought them lines in on a catch. I had a 40-pound carp and managed to bring 2 of the lines in, which I lost. So you've got to remember that. So you will turn up to a lake like this, and some lakes you can book your peg, and other lakes you'll do a draw. So you could end up over there, you could end up over here. But on this particular lake, that northern side is a separate booking. That's Lepinet North, and this is Lepinet South. So when you book Lepinet South, you can choose peg 0 to 5, I think it is. And that is 6 anglers. I think that's going to go. I'm going to give it a minute or so before I turn off. But like I say, about 4:30 is the bite time. Within that hour, and that's pretty much it till 10 o'clock at night and round till 4 in the morning. Unless you get a few shallow areas. Now I've done my depths, that's the shallowest area of the lake there, which I'm on now. Apart from that, as soon as that dives down to about 4 or 5 foot and then goes out to an average of 10, 11 foot out to them buoys. So you're only fishing a maximum, I think, if you find a deep spot, 12 foot. No real gullies, no real features. There is a hole over there by the orange buoy between the white buoy, about a rod length in. Not a very big hole, but apparently that's a noun for big fish. I found it, fished on it, didn't have nothing. So what I've done is I'm allowed to use 4 rods, normally 3, that's another thing. So you just think of things all the time. Because I'm the only one on the lake who lets me do 4 rods, but normally it'd only be 3 rods. So because that is pretty much even out there from a depth going out, just say so from 6 foot out to the buoys at 11, 12 foot. Pretty much gradual. I'm fishing just in from them buoys there, just in from the ripple there. And then I'm just messing about in this bay, hoping they're pulling down. Don't really want to go beyond that, for the simple reason is, to reach that area, it's all about battery life with your boat. You're forever using batteries. They don't last that long. So, I hope that's helped again. I hope whoever watches this, that helps a bit. And when I get home, I don't know how to do it, but I'll get my daughter to compile it all together and try and format something decent. So, and like I said, this video is really geared up for any fresh anglers going to France, and not those experienced ones. Now I'm getting a little bleep there on my rod, possibly a bream. It's, you know, 3 or 4 minutes interval, but you never know. That's it really. Can't think of anything else. I always go up the shop sort of midway through a session, top up, got a nice baguette and some fresh orange juice. I'm going to do a stew tonight, because like I say, I've got all the kit here. I like to be comfortable, as you can see, not just my little bivvy. I take my little bivvy when I do the lakes at home, but when I come to France, this for me, it's my fishing holiday. I like to be comfortable, have everything I need, down to my music, my food, little seating area. So I hope that covers everything. And yeah, when you look through the video, you'll see the catches, you'll see the photographs of the fish. I only tend to really video the big fish, anything sort of like over 35, because you take for granted that like a 30-pound common or mirror, there's a few commons in there and there's a few mirrors I've taken pictures of, but when you're in the UK, a 30-pound fish is massive, you know. But over here, it's I would say a little bit below average. High 30s, 40s. Not had a 50. I'm not too sure what was on there. I think I had a 47, 49-pound mirror. PB being 55 at the moment. I do get a lot of fish. I am successful fishing, I do get a lot of fish. But I've been on sessions where I've had 19 fish to a maximum of 39. And one guy over the lake, 4-day session, one fish straight into like a 62. And that's the luck, that is the fishing. If you do everything in your capability, where you feel confidence is the key for me. Probably a lot of anglers. Get your rods out, feel confident, and the fish will come. You know, the luck part of it is what size is going to be on that rod, which you just never know. So anyway, I hope I haven't bored you, and I've covered a lot of stuff what you want to know, and catch you later. Don't know if you can see this, but I am in to what I think is 100% 100-pound sturgeon. The size of that. It took all my lines out, all of them. So I've got to deal with that. But just to give you some idea of how big this fucking fish is, that's my net. Twice the size. That net will hold a 70-pound carp. That fish is fucking huge. Can't even lift it, can't even get it in the net. I've got to unhook it and let it go. Well, it's now Tuesday morning, 12 o'clock. Hadn't had a fish since Sunday 5 PM. which was my 12th fish, sorry, which was that 40-pound mirror. Went quiet for 24 hours, nothing. Weren't too concerned. What I'd done, I'd started following the wind down into the bay, across them margins. And then at midnight last night, well, that's what dreams are made of. 150-pound sturgeon. Ripped right off. At first I thought this is a big carp, probably biggest in the lake. It was, unless you experience it, it's like shark fishing. Thought the rod was going to snap, thought the line was going to ping, rig won't hold up. And that is on a 20-pound ridge monkey line and a 20-pound, that was on a 20-pound IQD rig with a Sail Essential wafter, and that brought in a 150-pound sturgeon. I'll put the footage up. I couldn't get it out of the water. Managed to bring it in. I tried to wrap my net round it, my sling. It was twice as long, 7 foot. Absolutely massive. You've got to be fishing with 2 or 3 people to get that fish out of the water. And when you're on your own, you've got no choice. I just got it in, calmed it down. It stayed still, unhooked it. Had time to get my sling to show you how big it was. I was shaking. So I got up this morning, redone the rods. It just wiped everything out. I've got to put new line on one of my rods. It just tangled right up. So I've had a shower, something to eat, a little toasty, and fishing now. All the wind's pulling down, so there's no need to go to the middle of the lake. I know the big fish are going to come down here. If I've got a 150-pound sturgeon, chances are with this wind, I've got all 4 rods out on this bay, just to the left of the orange marker onwards. One right down in the shallows, one just in front of a yellow tree. Let's see what the next few days, got 4 days left. Well, since catching the sturgeon, which was Monday night now, on Tuesday, I think, yeah, today's Wednesday, so 36 hours without a fish. But boy, do they keep coming. 39-pound lepinet mirror. What a scaly banger. Look at that. Hey. That was cool. On a sticky blueberry pop-up, pink in colour. What a lovely fish for a Wednesday afternoon, hey? All your doubts set in. What am I doing wrong? You ain't doing nothing wrong. Just the way the fish feed. But boy, did I need that fish. I needed that fish more than any fish on a session, I think. And what a reward. Let's have a look at the other side. Side of that. being too funny. That's probably my best fish to the session, because when a doubt creeps in, you need that. Well done. Yeah, I'm just going to do my last bit of filming now. It's now Thursday, half 12. Had a shower, redone the rods, gone down the shop, got my last bits for the last 2 nights. And then I'll do a recap at the end of the next 2 days once I've all packed up. I've got a lot to pack down, which I'll do on the Friday. I'll spend all Friday packing down, and then I'll just set up a one-man bivvy for the night, which is easy to get down. That keeps everything dry, so I don't have to worry about getting home, drying it all out if it does rain. So weather's good tomorrow, so I'll pack down on the good weather, and then just make do for the last night or so in a small bivvy. I had 3 more fish. Don't know what sizes they are, to be fair. I know my last one was only a 20-pound common. And when I looked back on the footage, we didn't really see the catch report, so I'll show you that now, because the tally's up to about 16 fish. So make sure you can see that. Yeah, and when I looked back, it was just showing a white board. So I thought, and that basically, I'll take that home. Next time I come out, whatever times and bait, rigs, everything, I'll top up. So this session, without a doubt, has been, personally, I think, the Cell Essential Yellow 18mm wafter and an IQD rig. Second to that is the Ronnie rig with a, I think it's the pink or the peach and pepper pop-up. I think it's the pink one. But that's the good thing about it, I'm not sure, that they're taking it. Just show you the lake again. And I'm also trying to think of any little detail what you might need if you are thinking of coming to lepinet or any other French venue. One thing, yeah, I did want to note is shower blocks are clean, absolutely spotless, but the basins are a little bit. So I would personally bring a cloth, some bleach, and just wash the basins down, because they tend to get left by the owners, and the owners are like they're into fish management and the lakes and everything. They don't really get cleaners in, but they're tidy, you know. You've only got to go in there the first morning for half hour, just clean it all up. But I'm on a lake, like I said, on my own, so if in the height of the summer you're going to have 12 fishermen on this, and they will get monged out for the week, 100%. So bring a few cleaning products and that, which I bring anyway, because I have a little portaloo, because I get caught short in the morning and I can't make it all the way over there. So I've got a little camping toilet, so I like use that first thing, and I'll get all the bags, and then and the good thing about this lake is a lot of lakes since COVID I've been telling you to take your own rubbish, but here they've got a nice big bin down by the entrance gate, so you can chuck all your shit away. And every time I film, I get a few knocks. But like I say, apart from what was it? I'd say halfway through Sunday night till Tuesday afternoon was a real beast of a session. You know, I missed home, missed all the comforts, weren't into a lot of fish, and then just persevered with it, doubted myself, got on with what I would normally do, started fresh, and yeah, it happened again. I've only had one night without getting up with a screamer. Apart from that, every night there's been action. So I am expecting it tonight and Friday night before I go on Saturday. I'm expecting it at least once, twice. I was up last night, lost one last night. I think that was the first fish I lost, or the second fish. But like I say, you just lose track of it. But when you come to France, it's not going to be as great as this every time. I went in November, whole week, nothing. On the same lake which I went to 3 weeks previous, and the missus said, yeah, you can go again if you want to, get one in before Christmas. Went out there and blanked. And then, like the previous session, I had a 55, 2 others. I'd like to try that lake in the summer months. It was hard on the back of the autumn, beginning of the winter. But then I like to stretch myself, you know. I like the challenge, but it is a challenge if you're not catching. Bloody fucking big challenge. But this, like I said, I'm gonna do positive feedback on this lake, on angling lines, and it's no way it runs water. It's a good turnover if you put your effort in. So my feedback before I came was there was four Dutch anglers fished this lake. Was it last week? No, because I come on the Wednesday, so the week before that, which would have been around about 8th of March for that week. They had 44 fish between 4 of them, so probably about 10, 11 fish each. And that would have been a good session, 100%. I'm now into 16 fish. 16 fish, second biggest fish I've ever caught, plus the 160-pound sturgeon, which is the biggest fish I think any fisherman would catch. So that's still registering, because that was one of a kind. I don't think, well, you're not going to experience that. Not many will. I'm fortunate enough to experience what it actually takes to catch that sort of fish, and it is mind-blowing. But that's once in a lifetime. So, like I said, it's not a runs water. Work hard at it. Be patient. Be confident. Start your bait up. Now I'm on the last 2 nights, 100%. I know I'm going to go heavy on the maize, heavy on the pellets, heavy on the boilies, because it will bring the fish. And I've got 2 nights left, and I will use my bait. I won't just chuck it in the water. I'll put it out in the bait boat. And yeah, I've sourced it well. So over the 10 days, I think I've used 30k of boilies. Bought 20. I'm not supposed to, but I did. I bought 20 with me, which was the CC Moore Tuning Pacific and Life System. And then I bought 10 kilos of the strawberry and krill. They're a bigger bait, they're a 20mm boilie. So last couple of days gives me the opportunity to like chop the boilies, without using the artificial bait, which is normally the wafters or the pop-ups. I've been doing a few air rigs with the boilies on them. Ain't worked at all. They just love the artificial wafters and the colours. For me, might be different, you know, on a different week with a different angler. So yeah, well, I would say when you come out, be prepared to change your different rig styles, change your, you know, your approaches, and it'll come, definitely. On a lake like this, it'll come if you put the hard work in. So I'm probably, I've done my rods at 10:30 this morning. And like I say, it's nearly 1 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock. I ain't even looked at the time. But you can tell by the sun. You get to know the surroundings. So it's about 1 o'clock with the sun. Yeah, so I forgot what I was bloody saying then, because I went on to the sun. Yeah, so you change things up a bit, and I've been using a basic air rig with a boilie, turning it up with a pop-up. I've had the fish off of that. But like I say, the devastating rig for me is the IQD rig with an 18mm cell essential wafter. So I'm not going to babble on no more, because I just want to enjoy Thursday now. Because like I say, I'm packing up tomorrow. And oh boy, have I got a lot of packing up to do. And enjoy the moment, have a few beers, something to eat. And then Friday, like I say, big day packing down. Go small Friday night. Try and get away early, because of the P&O situation. They've cancelled a lot of the ferries, and that's the good thing about booking with angling lines. They look after you. So I rung them up. When they rung me up, I returned the call, and they basically said, "Don't worry. Either way, we'll get you home. If you don't sail with P&O because of the situation, they'll give you vouchers for DFS." And I will say it works out a lot cheaper. Like I don't know if I've previously mentioned it, but going with Anglines, they get a discount with the ferries, and it's a bloody good package. I think for this 10 days on this lake, 357 quid with the crossing, because it is just, if I'd have done it next week, it would have been, I'm sure, 457. But I'm a week before the actual season starts, so I've got out season discount at 357 quid for 10 days. With a crossing, take the crossing off, 27 quid a night, 25 quid. You can't do an English lake for that, not for 3 rods. Obviously, plus your fuel, etc., and tolls. Yeah, that's another thing. I don't know if I mentioned it. If you're going down to the region where I am, which is about a 5-hour drive anywhere through France, you're going to be expected on a return trip to do about £80 in tolls. And with the current fuel situation, definitely allow about 180 quid in diesel or fuel. But overall, with your bait, everything, as a fisherman, it's worth it, innit? Catch you later. Bye. Right, thought I'd do what I use, the products, and I'm not sponsored by anyone. I wish I was, because I get paid for it. But I start on my spod gear. That's a Sonic Vader spod rod and reel with Nash 25 pound line. Got that, a basic rocket, 50 pound leader, and a Avid bucket and stand, lockdown stand. Nash Carp cradle. What makes on that? Not too sure. what the sling is. Nice chair, bought from Angling Direct. For me, one of the best buys is the landing net. Now that's, I did have the Nash Infinity. Click lock, and on there, I'll take off the cover so you can see the lock system. That won't snap. That clicks in at 45 degrees. And it is absolutely sweet as a nut. I'm using floater on that just to keep it nice and in the water, because otherwise they do sink. Now on the rods I mentioned before, can't get better than a Delkin, slim lights, and the Shimano reels. I prefer a bait runner to a big pit. A lot of people will differ, and I think 8 out of 10 people will use a big pit, but I will use a bait runner. And that is on the Sonic Gravity XT rods. Now they come up at about, can't remember, £125 each. Reels, I think I've paid about £110 for them. Obviously the Delkins are what they are, 120 quid a system. Whole set with a receiver, work out about 600 quid. Now the pods I'm using are a Fox pod, really nice. They just glide in together, a lot of adjustment on them. And I use the quick release clip systems on the bottom of them. I don't know if you can see that. There's one I'm not being used. Click in and out, get your snag bars. They're not Delkin snag bars, they're just a cheaper version, which just go on the bottom of the clip. And in this session, I'm using a Ridge Monkey £20 line, which I'll show you, which is the RM Tech. RM Tech, which is £20 mono. It does curl up, but then they all do. Like I said, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, I use the called a touchdown, but on this lake being quite gravelly, I went for the clear line. I've had lots of snags, but it's all part of it. You get so many hours in the day. Sort your line out, renew it. Got the Ridge Monkey bait crusher. Good tool. Crumbs up all your boilies. Get a large bucket with that. I'll go for the sticky buckets. With the Ridge Monkey, you get your little cases, put your crumbs and that in. Got my Nash water bucket. Ridge Monkey water container there. Igloo cooler, absolutely brilliant. Get 3 bottles of ice in that'll last you 5-6 days. But if I've got to really big anything up, it's the Ridge Monkey stuff, which is your kettle, gas cylinders, your burners, and your cookware. Unbelievable. All your pots and pans, toasty maker. Absolutely out of this world. I'm using, if you can see that, the JRC cook tent. They call it a social centre. I would say it was a cook tent. And then the Ridge Monkey, bivvy and outhouse. Expensive, but a nice bit of kit. I was before that using a Nash gazebo. Nash gazebo with a separate JRC, I think it was a 2-man dome bivvy. But to be fair, this does it all in one. So I'll show you through that. So what I'll do is, that's obviously my tackle centre with all my gear. And on this side, a few like bait boat batteries, everything, wellies, waders, and then a sleeping compartment. I think that's a Nash Indulgent bed with a tracker, all seasons, sleeping bag, absolutely brilliant. Not sure about the pillars, I'll really go into detail about them. Bed set up, and what I do is I set up these lights. When I get a fish, just click that switch, and then outside the bivvy at night, all my LEDs are on. You can't really see them in the daylight. I've got LEDs all around the bivvy. Run them over there, up the side of there, and that just lights the whole swimmer. Maybe I'm over the top. My wife definitely thinks I am. Turn him off, and then Pro Logic camo suits, absolutely a must. I bring my thermals, and I think the best bag on the market is the JRC. Can't get them anymore. I've tried to get another one. JRC kit bag. For me, probably the worst thing I've bought is the Shimano bag. Not very good. So I'm not praising up everything. That is shit. That bag's shit. And if I say luggage bags, pound for pound, what we got here? That's a good bag. That's a bloody good bag, that is, and I think that is Avid. No, it's Solar, sorry. Solar have come into their own with bags. Their bag system is absolutely brilliant. But value for money, the NGT bags, I think they're about 18 quid each, and they're thermal lined. They're good. Wellies, I've got the Navitas, brilliant. It's one of the best things, yeah. And waders are the Vass waders. I haven't used them yet. Really want to use them when I'm in a big fish. Chargers. Got the Ridge Monkey Power Pack. Got 2 of them. That's about it, I think I've covered everything. That's my setup, that's the products I use. Hope that helps you. Well, I say last night, I actually pack up Saturday morning, but lack the lepinet. Probably the best fishing week I've ever had in France. What a lake.